Hello guys, my name is Akwatiam, ALX Software Engineer Trainee, Cohort 9. I just want to walk you through the load balancer project. I know it's quite hectic and confusing. As you can see, I've already done the tags, so I save as. Done the tags and everything is working perfectly. I will just explain what is happening and some technicalities that are involved. Okay. So the first question is that in the tags you need to configure Web 02 and web to be identical to Web 01. We already did Web 01 in the previous SSH and web server project. So we need to configure Web 02 to be identical. And also the IB01 server, which is the front end server. The front end server is the main entry point to the server Web 01 and Web 02 server. It distributes the workload or the traffic that comes to those two servers. Okay. So you don't need to touch anything from here. You work on here, Web 02 and IB01. So the first task is that you need to connect the machine. You need to connect the server as it did in Web 01. Clear my screen. So as you can see, I've already done the task, but I will just delete it, then I repeat it. Okay? I will just delete it. Remove. So as you can see, I removed the file Web 01, Web 02 and IB01 to ALX System Engineering dev/bash. Okay, because that is where I have to take it and explain it. Okay, so what will happen now? We'll cd into that directory. The reason why we are cd into 0 times 0b dash SSH is because we have to copy the private key of the first server, Web 01, okay? So that all of this one, we inherit that private key so that we easy to be connected or have access. So since I move to that directory and I do ALX, so these are the files. So what you do from here straight, you have to navigate to SSH, to ALX System Engineering /0b 0 times 0b SSH. Okay. So what you do here, you have to copy this key, this private key. Let me just do one or two examples how you have to do. You have to copy the private key, this private key. For example, like you can say Web 01. Okay. You copy it again to Web 02. You copy it again to to 1b slash 001. Okay, this is just an example I'm showing you guys, but I'll have to delete it. Okay, so when you ALX now, you have all this file. You have all this file that I just created. So if you do cat, you realize that the keys, all the keys are here. Like for this one, if you do cat, see, inherit the key. So what you have to do, you have to do VI of web 1, then you input all the new IP address. Okay, the one for web server 1, it's already there, you don't need to change anything. So you start from web server 2. Okay, if you start from web server 2, you change the IP, then you save. Then you do also same for the new server IB.01. Okay, you put the IP, you copy the IP from here, you copy the IP, and you change it in your editor. Okay, you copy the IP and you change it in your editor. So from here, let me do LS again. I have to remove all this one. This one was just for a demonstration. I have to remove all of this. It was just for demonstration. It was just for demonstration. So I have a clean slate now. So you do an ALX, you have all the web server. These are all the web server. Secondly, you just need to, you can remove all the server to the bin, to bin, so that you can easily access everywhere, or you can leave it like that. If you want to access the server from here, you can just do ./web01. You can see it's connected. You log out. You do web 02. It's connected. You log out. Then you do for the server 1B01. You see, it is connected. So let me just log out and go back to the folder. Okay, clear. So if you like, you can bring it back to your home directory. Okay, so to move it back to your home directory, you can just say that move, or you can even work from there. It's not a problem. But just know that you have to put a dot, then you put the server name before you will be able to. Okay, now we have created all the servers. The next part is now to install Nginx. So for us to install Nginx, we have to start from each server. And to start from each server, what we need to do next is that we need to clone the repository. Each of the server, we have to clone the repository because it contains all the file in our main repository. So we have to clone it. So from this server, we are now in web server 1. We are now in web server 1. So let me open another terminal so that I can get a link of the repository. Okay. Let me just cd. This is another terminal working. This is just a default terminal. So to clone a repository, you do git remote -v. You'll get the link. No. Sorry, it has to be git remote, not git remove. Git remote -v. From now, here it will fetch the link to the repository where you have your token. You copy it. You come down to the server, web server 1. Okay, you do git clone, then you paste the link. Okay, I've already cloned this one. It will show me that the repository file already exists. You see, I've already cloned it. So if you have not done it, it will just clone. Okay, so after that, you clear your browser, you do the IS, you have the repository there, you seed into that repository. Yes, you seed into 0f load balancer repository. You do an ALX. So this is the file. This is the file to install Nginx. You copy this file. You do /. I've already installed it. So if I click install, it will show that I've installed it already. You can see it shows that it has already been installed. Okay. Great. To test if it's working, you do coil local host. You show hello world. That shows that the server is working. Okay. You log out from this server. You come back to your main default server. You do that for ALX. You do that for web server 2. Same. You have to clone the repository. But since I've already cloned it, I already have it. Now I'm connected to, let me clear. I'm connected to the web server 2. So since I've already cloned the repository, I have it there in my terminal. So I'll seed into that. Seed into that. The ALX is seed into load balancer. Because it says that you have to install Nginx for both web server 1 and web server 2. You do ALX. The custom HTTP response header is a file for you to run the Nginx as stated by the project. This file, right? 0 custom HTTP response header, so that I configure a brand new Ubuntu machine to the requirement asked in this tags. Okay. So remember, all the script that we did for the last project is the same script that we are working on this 0 custom HTTP response header. Okay, so when I click that, it will show that I've already installed it. So to check if this server is working, You do your curl dot localhost. You show hello world. You show that it's working. So from here now, what you do, you just do log out, okay? And you come back to your default directory. So we have to do also for the server IB01, because this one said that we have to install the hard proxy. So we connect now to the server. We connected there. Since I've already cloned the repository, I already have it in my file. But if you have not cloned, you know how to clone repository, you can do that. So we cd into that repository, ALX. We cd into that. Okay. Then we have to install the load balancing. So you go to install load balancing. Now we are now in the second part of the project. We are now in this part, install load balancer. Okay. Then we have to do all of the tests. So we do that i./. Since I've already installed it, it will show that it has already been installed. You can see it has already been installed. So now we begin on the test. So this one is the server that control the main traffic. Okay. So from here we can just move to the home directory of the server. This is the main server, this server, IB1. So we are now in this server, and this server is the one that distributes the workload between web server 01 and web server 02. And this is where the load balancer is being configured. Okay? So now for us to test if the load balancer is working and is able to distribute data or traffic between the two servers. Okay, so what we have to do to test or to check, we can just do COI -si, then localhost. You see that if we do this, it will give us the server, web server 1. It means that this load balancer is able to send traffic to web server 1 and except by, according to the project, say the HTTP header must be except by. Okay, it tells us that this server 1B01 is able to send traffic to web server, the server web server 01. Okay, so if we do it again, it will show web server 02. Okay, so we'll try to do it again. You see, it show web server 02. So if there's only other server that you must have configured, whether there are 10 servers or 20, it will be showing how the traffic is going to be distributed among those servers. Okay, so this test is okay. So the other thing is that we can also check from each of those servers if they'll be able to receive data from this one or request from this one. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, if we log out from this server, then let me do ls. Let's start with web server 1. No. Okay, we are now in web server 1. For us to find out if this server will be able to receive traffic, that will be X set by. Okay, you come here and you copy this link. Okay, but you have to change the IP address, because this one is the address that is this assignment. You have to copy this address and put here. So I've already copied the address. This is the address. The address for the first one. So you can just copy it and paste there. Copy and paste there. Let's see what it's going to give us. Okay, X set by. It shows that we are now in web server 1. Okay, you do the same for the other server. We'll log out. Connect to web server 2. You copy same. You just copy from here. You copy from here. Okay, but you have to change the IP web server 2. In the place of this IP, you put the IP of web server 2. So all what we are doing now, we are just doing testing. We show that we are except by web server 2. Okay, so there are many things that we can do. There's a way that we can, like my domain name, the one from the .tech, the one we did for the web server. You can check your domain name if it's working. Like my domain name, I can just do call -si them. Okay. No, locals. Okay, I got them dot tech. So this domain name, this is my domain name that we created from web server, and it is there in my alias. The IP is there in my alias. So you see that now, since my domain name is connected to the alias. Okay, so you go back to that website. This is where the website. Okay, this is the website. I believe you have the website. You go to manage DNS. You click on manage DNS. Sign in. come to list, click on the domain, it will take you to the dashboard. Okay, you come to DNS management. From DNS management, you come to manage DNS. Okay, these are all the IP. If you want your domain to be read by the server, okay, you have to take all the IP, all this IP, and save them in your A list, in your A record. Okay, without that, it won't be able to read. The server will not be able to read your domain name. Okay, for you to carry out the test. So that is it. So you can also do the test in any of the server to see if they are working. Okay, let me just copy this and test in the other servers. Let me just do lockout. Okay, then let me connect this one. So I'm in web server 1. Clean. You see, it's working. Okay. We can also log out and do that in the IB1 server. Okay, it shows here now that this 1B.01 server, which is where the load balancer is being configured, is able to send traffic or read data from web server 1, and if you do it again, it will show web server 2. Okay, if you keep on doing, it will be showing the respective, you see, web server 2. Okay, so when I did it here, it showed web server 1, and I also did it again, it showed web server 2. Okay, if you keep doing, it will be interchanging web server 1. If I do it again, web server 2. So it's a proof that the load balancer has been well configured and is able to send traffic to web server 1 and web server 2. Okay, if you have 10 servers, it will be showing how traffic is being going to those servers. So this is all about the assignment. You can see everything is green. So the other thing is that you have to make sure that you have the right script to install the Nginx and install the load balancer, because if you don't have the right script, you keep on having errors. So thank you guys.